Thought that was you. All right. Thank you all for coming tonight. Welcome to the special Township Committee meeting, April 24th, 2025. Adequate notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting the written notice and agenda in the meeting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, 1000 Route 10, Township of Hanover, and by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing such notice to the following newspapers: Morris County Daily Record, Star Ledger, Hanover Eagle.
And filing same with the Township Clerk.
And by filing same with the Township Clerk.
Roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Here.
Committeeman Faramaska.
Here.
Committeeman Francioli.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Mahalka.
Here.
Mayor Gallagher is excused this evening. As many of you know, he has the honor of serving on the Board of Trustees for the 200 Club of Morris County. And this evening, the 200 Club is holding its annual Valor Award celebration, and Mayor Gallagher is attending in support of that important event. We appreciate you understanding his absence this evening. So we have 4 members in attendance.
At this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the
We turned them over there.
I'm
So sorry.
First time in 20 years they've been
We've
waiting.
never moved them.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's how it's going to be.
Almighty God, please watch over and guide this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding to help make the best decisions for our residents. Please bless our first responders and township volunteers who help to keep us all safe. Also bless our township employees and residents. Lastly, please let us pray for the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who stand vigil over us always. Amen.
Amen. We're all like discombobulated tonight. Okay. You good?
I'm good.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. First on the agenda, we have 2 letters of communication. The first is a letter of retirement from Denise Brennan as Superintendent of Recreation and Parks Administration, effective July 1st, 2025. Denise has been a dedicated employee of Hanover Township for over 13 years. The second is a letter of resignation from Dominic Mancini as SLEO 3 with the Hanover Police Department, effective May 2nd, 2025. May I have a motion to approve Denise's retirement and Officer Mancini's resignation?
Like a quick, just make a note. I got to work with Denise for the past 8 years, and she was terrific to work with. She was really made my job as Director of Recreation pleasurable, and she did so much for the town on a shoestring budget, raising funds, pulling off all of these events, tirelessly working hours and hours. Sad to see her go. Sad to see her go.
Would you like to make a motion?
Well, I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Next order of business is the public hearing and adoption of ordinance numbers 9-2025 and 10-2025. Ordinance 9-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 179 entitled Motels of the Code of the Township. Proof of publication that Ordinance 9 and the notice of introduction appeared in full in the April 9th issue of the Daily Record. Ordinance 10-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee, Township of Hanover, amending and supplementing Ordinance Number 8-2025 and Chapter 61 of the Code of the Township entitled Salaries and Compensation Personnel Policies, which chapter establishes regulations and rates and compensation for the officers and full-time and part-time civilian non-union employees of the Township of Hanover. Proof of publication that Ordinance 10 and the notice of introduction appeared in full in the April 30th issue of the Daily Record. At this moment, may I have a motion to convene the public hearing on Ordinance 9-2025 and 10-2025?
So moved.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to be heard concerning any of these ordinances? If so, please state your name and address for the record.
And if I may, Deputy Mayor, and to the municipal clerk, there are, with respect to ordinance 29-2025, there's just some There's no change in the actual material substance of the ordinance. They're just really grammatical changes. I just wanted to read into the record just so that it's clear. And again, it's just really all for presentation. Chapter 179-4E, we're changing agencies, apostrophe S, to agencies, IES. Chapter 179-4F, changing suspended changing a suspended to the word suspended. Chapter 179-5, changing the second B paragraph to C, so it would just clarify the appropriate order. And then Chapter 179-A, we're removing paragraph formatting A. The paragraph does not require a formatting or a letter. And then Section 8 of the ordinance, that's Chapter 179-9A5, we're changing falls to fails for a typographical adjustment. And Chapter 179-9B2B, we're changing it from T30 to just the number 30. Again, just grammatical changes for presentation. If I may just have a motion to introduce for final adoption for the ordinance as amended with those changes, please.
Second.
Second. All in favor with those changes?
Aye.
Thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to be heard? Please go to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Hearing none? Oh,
Good evening.
tilt that microphone down, please. And, yeah, name and address. There you go.
My name is Christine Gaddy. I'm a Hanover Township resident. I thank you all for serving our community. I'm here to support the adoption of Ordinance 9, 2025. It is imperative that this ordinance be adopted and enforced to the full extent of the law. The owners of the Red Carpet Inn, Scottish Inn, and Extended Stay America are negatively impacting our community and continue to be a drain on all of our resources. The owners have ignored our regulations and are not using their establishments as intended. The crime and poor living conditions coming from these establishments is alarming. Red Carpet Inns and Extended Stay Americas are known for this, and we understand that they have countless violations from the DCA in town. Towns where these hotels have closed have seen a 50% reduction in crime. The owners of these properties have shown to not care about our community or the people temporarily residing there. I won't go into these details because it's well documented and known. The owners must be held accountable and be monitored very closely to ensure immediate compliance. Thank you for your service and seeing that our safety and financial stability of our communities is done properly. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Brittany, and I am a Hanover resident. My family and I moved here a couple years ago, and we recently did an addition to our home because we made the conscious decision that this is where we want to raise our kids and continue growing with our community. We love our town, we love our neighbors, we love everything about, our school system. I'm disappointed that it has come to this. This type of ordinance that we're discussing is not something new. Other towns have similar regulations that are already in effect and, more importantly, have been enforcing them. I'm definitely in agreement with the ordinance of 9-2025. And I want to make sure that, it gets enforced. Thank you.
Could you just state your name for the record, please, your first and last name?
Brittany Smith.
Smith, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Please state your name and address for the record.
Morisano.
And tilt the microphone up.
Gotta get taller
Excuse
microphones.
me, sir.
Is this open for any discussion, or is it only
This
on
is
time?
just this for now. We're going to open for the...
I'll come back.
Okay, thank you. Just a quick note. This particular ordinance is really giving the town one more bullet in the chamber to help improve the situation at that motel. Right now, our hands are very tied. There's limited we can do. You guys have been telling us, we've been seeing it. it's, the motel itself in particular is in disrepair, it's in unhealthy, and this is really just giving us one more tool that we can use to get in there and help make improvements to that hotel.
Yeah, and Deputy Mayor, that goes to all the hotels within the township. It's
Yeah,
not just for
absolutely.
one, it's just, you've heard a lot of concerns by various residents or even occupants at the hotel about the conditions, to your point, yes.
Yes, no, thank you. Yeah, this one just seems to have a bullseye on it, and we get complaints continually from it. But no, it is across the board, and it's really, again, giving us the opportunity to get our people in there and, make some improvements in that hotel, and help the, the residents that are there, help them out, so.
And if I may just add to your comments, Deputy Mayor, this is, to your point, it's really the DCA has the jurisdiction, the town construction office and things of that nature, as far as in the interior, does not have the ability to make those type of inspections inside. However, with this ordinance and expanding the hotel licensing ordinance, now that it would be important, and it's a requirement, if you're going to have a license to operate a hotel, any hotel in the township, you have to complete the application, you have to comply with the ordinance, it's your responsibility to do that, and it's for the health and safety of everyone that's utilizing the facility. It's to make sure that the conditions that at least are being stated, we hope that won't be the case, but we'd have an opportunity to make sure that the conditions are appropriate standards and for health and safety and welfare of anybody who uses the facility. And if the hotel cannot comply, then there's a process where the license would not be issued by this governing body, just like there's licenses, whether it be on the local level for liquor licenses and other types of licenses that you issue. The same thing goes for a hotel license. And it, as the governing body had talked about this, and we've worked with the administration, we've worked with, of course, Joe Giorgio, our township administrator, Blaise Blanchow, the township planner, Jerry Massera, our engineer, Krista DeGiorgio, our township clerk, as well as Sean Donlin, our construction official, to get all of the information about what's important, so that and of course our health officer as well, and even the chief of police was consulted, just from a standpoint of health and safety, so that going forward, these concerns there'd be an opportunity for the governing body to make sure it's a compliant hotel facility.
Yeah, so this is just a bit of a history lesson. The first hotel ordinance in this town was 1961. Last time it was amended was 1991. So it was due. And thank you for the folks that came up and had some statements to make and your support, because this definitely will add some tools to our toolbox and give us a little more authority to actually not only protect the people, we mentioned the people here in town and our safety and the resources of our police department being expended over there, but also the people that do rightfully belong and stay in that hotel. Their health, their safety. It's a two-way street, so hopefully this will work out well for everybody involved.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is licensed as a hotel, permitted as a hotel. It is not a long-term living facility. So fundamentally, this is in violation. It is sad to see that people have subjected by the state of New Jersey to such living conditions. It's inhumane. And Hanover Township is making a step to try to improve the living conditions that would exist there, and to make sure that if you operate a hotel in this community, it's going to be operated under these conditions. So I think it's a giant step forward, and hopefully DCA will understand that they have a responsibility, they have an obligation, and they have a funding to provide proper care for the people that they are to serve.
Thank you, Mr. Paramoska. All right, any more comments? Good?
We're ready to that, too?
We're good?
I echo John's sentiment, but our concerns go beyond the local level. Our concerns were brought to the county. The administrator and I and the mayor at the time met with members of the county commissioners who, in essence, had very little control over the use of the hotel and directed us to the DCA. The DCA has the oversight on that particular hotel motel as it does with other hotels and motels. Fred's going to correct me if I'm wrong here. But,
Yeah, and to your point, Ron, it's all about the health and safety for all of the hotels, how things have changed over the years. And, you know, from a standpoint of the DCA can't be maybe as involved, or they're not, to make sure those standards are complied with, but that's what we're doing here for every hotel within the township.
I think we're taking the first right step as Hanover, and Hanover always has. But beyond that, I do think that down in Trenton, some of our political representatives there should really take a further look at what's going on in these areas and how the living conditions are and under what circumstances these people have to tolerate, you know. But thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Francioli. Anyone else? We're good? We're good. Ready to close?
May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Now, on adoption, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 9-2025 and 10-2025?
Motion.
May I have a
Second.
Roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Yes.
Committeeman Faramaska.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Mahalko.
Yes.
Both ordinances are so adopted. Next, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 11-2025, 12-2025, 13-2025, 14-2025, and 15-2025 this evening. I'd like to read each title into the record. Ordinance 11-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 122-1 definitions and Section 122-10 fees under Chapter 122 of the Code entitled Filming as set forth under Part 2, General Legislation. Ordinance number 12-2025, ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover, authorizing the execution of a lease agreement with the Hanover Township Boy Scouts of America Incorporated, Boy Scout Troop 155, and operating the B Meadow Park Brickyard Concession Facility on July 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, 2025, during the Township's live vocal concerts. Ordinance 13-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee, Township of Hanover, authorizing the resurfacing of a portion of Algonquin Parkway from Troy Road to the M&E Railroad crossing in the Whippany section of the township, and appropriating the sum of $208,504 from the New Jersey Department of Transportation's fiscal year 2024 municipal aid program and $391,496 from the township's 2025 current fund budget. Ordinance 14-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee of the Township of Hanover in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 218 of the Code of the Township entitled Property Maintenance by establishing Article 8 entitled Lead-Based Paint Hazard Inspection Requirements for Rental Dwellings in order to establish a lead-based paint hazard inspection program. And finally, Ordinance 15-2025, an ordinance of the Township Committee, Township of Hanover, in the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Section 267-47, time limit parking under Article 10 entitled, oh, did I miss that? Entitled Schedules of Chapter 267 of the Code of the Township entitled Vehicles and Traffic of the Code of the Township of Hanover, with the inclusion of time limit parking for a portion of Mount Pleasant Avenue in Whippany. That was a lot. I'd like to state for the record that these ordinances and their respective notices of introduction will be published in full in the Daily Record in accordance with law. The public hearing is scheduled for May 8th, 2025 at 8 p.m. If any member of the public would like to be heard regarding those ordinances, they will be given the opportunity to do so that evening. May I now please have a motion to introduce ordinance 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15?
Motion?
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Aye.
Committeeman Faramaska.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Mahalko.
Yes.
So introduced. Next order of business is the approval of resolutions as a consent agenda. Resolutions numbered 92-2025 through 98-2025. Does any member of the governing body have any questions regarding any of those resolutions?
Motion to approve.
Can I just make one comment, Deputy Mayor? Resolution 98, 2025 follows the hotel ordinance. There were some comments, and this governing body has talked about proceeding with the ordinance, enforcement, et cetera. Well, instead of waiting to promulgate the registration form and the process of this resolution, 98, 2025, sets forth the actual license application so that the administration can move forward immediately and get a packet out to each hotel operator within the township with the ordinance, the resolution, as well as this form of application that has to be completed, and the first date will be July 1st, for the July 1st through December 31st, last half of the year. So that's on here now, because a lot of times people say, what about enforcement? I mean, someone asked tonight, it's always a good question. Well, this resolution gets the ball rolling immediately.
Thank you, Mr.
I'll
Chairman.
second that motion.
Second.
All in favor of the resolutions being done as a consent agenda? So approved. Deputy Mayor and the members of the committee, that clears the agenda, and I thank you very much.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Very good. Any member of the public who would like to address the Township Committee, please state your name and address for the record, and you will have 4 minutes to address the governing body. Come on up.
Oops, okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you about all who have attended. My concern is of one... Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Debbie Brenner. I'm at 120 Malapartis Road. And I'm talking about an issue that I know it was brought up last year with regards to at least the piece of Malapartis that I live on, east of Ridgedale Avenue towards the 287 wall. It's only a few, like maybe 10, 12 houses on it. The road, few issues. The first is after there was some work done to the road, I don't know if it was like a sewer line, something was put in, the road was repaved, but it's horrendous. I mean, you can't go more than 10 miles an hour because you're just like bumping in your car. And I think that, the other side of Malapartis Road is nice and clean and easy to drive, but I was wondering if that was going to be ever repaired or corrected the right way. Secondly, and more importantly, is the speed limit and the issue with turning onto Malapartis from Route 10 on Ridgedale Avenue, making that left turn, is a concern. Reason being, I know I can't see. When I try to make a left turn to get to my house, Ridgedale Avenue is a little bit higher, like in front of me, like heading towards like Morristown. So right by Progressive Gardens, right there's like a little bit of a hill. I can't see a darn thing. If someone is in the lane to turn to go towards Malapartis, to go towards Littleton Road, I don't see. I basically do my best in taking a chance that no one's shooting down the other lane so I can make my left onto my street. I don't know why there's not a delayed light. I thought that was discussed or at least brought up last year. So that, I was wondering if that's ever going to be addressed. And lastly, the speed bumps were installed last year. I know that was brought up, and there was a few things that we had sent a petition around for, and one of them was the speed bumps, the turn signal, and some type of, like a speed sign that like flashed. We did get that right in front of my house. I'm not complaining because we hoped that it would help the speed. Well, first of all, there's a lot of traffic that comes down. When I say that I live on that road, sometimes to people that maybe I just meet, they'll say, oh yeah, I know that road. Yeah, we take that way because it cuts through down Boulevard and to get to Ridgedale Avenue. So we know that's what people do. The signs that don't make that turn there during certain hours off of like Cedar Knolls Road, it's not listened to. So therefore, we're impacted by that traffic. Some cars do slow down, a few. I see it, I'm on my driveway, they see that speed sign because it's right by my house. And then as soon as they pass that speed sign, they zoom to Route 10. I mean, it's just, it's unfortunate that people just don't listen to the rules, the laws, the signs. And whatever we need to do to make our roads safe, I babysit my grandchildren once or twice a week. They see it. You know, one time I went up to my mailbox, and this car was like speeding down, and I just went, "Hey," with some unfortunate profanity. And my grandson heard me. He goes, "Wow, Grandma, that car really went fast." I said, "I know. I guess they don't listen to the speed sign." So I just wanted to see that or find out if anything is going to be done with what was brought up last year. I understood that there was going to have, these corrections were going to be addressed, and those are my 3 concerns. 2 were for safety, and others were just for, you know, the beauty of our road and having the repavement done in that small area, to have it properly done. It was just like patched and that's it. You know, it's very uncomfortable driving on it. Thank you for hearing me.
No, thank you very much. Let's see if we can get you some quick answers now. If not, we can get back to you with some better answers.
Thank you.
Mr. Macedo, is Malapartis slated at all?
Yeah, certainly the condition of the pavement, we're aware that it is in disrepair, and I think, and this year was a difficult year in terms of budgeting towards road repairs. It is definitely on our radar. I can't say when it will be done, but certainly on our radar. I think what we also wanted to do is have the speed humps installed at the time that it's going to get repaved, so we just do the one paving job at one time. One of the things also, you know, there was a strong initiative to install speed humps on Mountain Avenue, and we wanted to also kind of live with that for a little bit of time to get some feedbacks to make sure that the reduction in speed did occur with the installation of the speed humps before we move forward with another phase of speed humps. And again, certainly acknowledge that Malapartis Road was one road that was considered for speed humps. In terms of the timing change, that takes a little bit of analysis, because I agree with your assessment that Boulevard and that section of Malapartis is kind of like a cut-through for Ridgedale Avenue. And the one concern we have with providing a protected left turn is that encourages that maneuver, because now people understand that they have that ability to make that left turn more easily, and that might encourage that cut-through activity. Not to say that we've made a decision yet to not include that, but it's something that we're looking at the time. So we haven't made a final decision on any signal timing changes.
Thank you. I think that's some of the answer. I think part of it also is enforcement, and maybe Mr. Cahill can relate to the police to give it a little bit of attention and see if, you know, we can get, you know, you see a policeman there, you're going to slow down. So maybe some enforcement needs to be done too. And we are working on adding new policemen and a traffic division to our police force. Hopefully that will help throughout the town. And also one more thing that Mr. Macedo pointed out was our budget was a little bit lower than we would have liked for roads this year, but we're working on them, we're working our way through, and price of asphalt's gone up. So the net effect is a little bit less done than normal. But we're hoping to get a couple more done that's not scheduled, but we're working on it. Thank you.
Hi, on the
Yes,
same
ma'am.
issue, I'm Victoria Benson from 125 Malapartis Road, and I am the one who brought this issue to you in the past couple of years. Many of you have been out to my home, not only for the flooding in our area that we have not had rectified, but we were promised in a meeting last year that we were on the budget for this year for these remediations to Malapartis and Boulevard. We have sat for decades, where our tax dollars are going everywhere else in town. Please stop pushing us off. The condition of our road is heinous. The people traveling on our road are the angriest and most frustrated travelers, and you've sent them down local roads because of the timing on Ridgedale has not been corrected. The timing for all the lights on Ridgedale are so antiquated that what we get is blaring horns, accidents, And we are literally taking our lives in our hands to try to make a left-hand turn to go down our road. And to hear an excuse that we are waiting and monitoring, which I've been hearing for 2 years, is extremely distasteful to hear at this point. The different remediations this town has done, the construction on the mountain, Countrywood, decades after decades, have sent water down that mountain across Ridgedale. Most of the town, where all the new developments were put in, have been remediated and the water flow has gone into some type of sewer system. Our neighborhood has been forgotten. Not only is our road getting flooded every single time it rains, our backyards are flooded. We have all made remediations. Every single time we contact the town and say we're getting flooded, the engineering department tells us to fix our own problem. We can't fix our own problem. Deputy Mayor, you saw the dry creek that I put in.
Yeah, how did that work out?
It's not working. We are still flooded. Because the remediation now needs to come from the town on the other side of Ridgedale, where they take that water and source it into some part of the source system, as opposed to flooding into our neighborhood and overflowing that road. And all of our backyards, our property values have gone down. Not only because of the traffic that's flying through, that's all commuter traffic, but also because we are flooded out. The town has to stop pushing us off. My texts, my emails, my phone calls have been ignored all year. And each time that I finally get somebody, it's usually the secretary who says, "I'm so sorry, you're not even on the agenda anymore." And now you're asking us to wait again. Is it going to take another death on our road? I don't know. I'm frustrated. We need repairs. Our tax dollars should come to our road also. Soon. Not next year. This summer. I know you have other problems in town, but our tax dollars have to, at some point, take care of us also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Weber, and I'm from Hanover Township, and I just wanted to thank you for the ordinance 9/2025, and I agree with you, and I thank you for taking the time to really put your time into the community and help with the hotel situations and the families that live there and the safety of the children who are there in very dangerous conditions, and I thank you for taking the time to investigate and to help with this ordinance, and I hope a lot of things come out good, and I really hope that the not so good from that hotel can live elsewhere. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you
night.
for your comment. Anyone else? Please stand up. 4 minutes. Name and address, please.
Once again, Marco Morisano, Whippany resident.
Put that microphone up. Thank you, sir.
I'm the BOE Board of Ed liaison to the Township Committee, and I am here to address a statement made by a committee member at your last meeting that the Hanover Township Board of Education did not oppose the ARC ordinance. This is misleading, as it implies that the Board of Ed agrees with the ordinance. It was made clear by the township that the property in question is owned, maintained, and controlled by the township. So the question is, do you want the Board of Education to put this to vote? So you've made a statement that we've done something that we have not. So are you looking for us to put it to vote so that you can know what our thought is on it? That's the question. I mean, you don't have to ask me now, you don't have to answer me now, but that's what I'm putting out there.
I understand your question.
Yeah. If you'd like to respond,
I'd like to, I'll comment. The administrator and I and members of the school administration, including the president of the school board, met and I don't have an exact date, goes back at least...
February of 2024, yes, I'm
Yeah.
aware of those meetings.
Thank you, yeah. And I think there was, the Transportation Director was with us and some other members of the Administrative Board. That doesn't mean that the board sat in at that meeting. It was not a board meeting.
Correct.
But at that time, we had, Hanover initiated the meeting because we wanted to present to those, to the school, the concept for a group home on that area, and we wanted them to examine the trail, and we wanted to examine the impact on the woods in the area. So we had that discussion. There were various comments, good comments, at that discussion, and we retired from that meeting with them, with the understanding through the administrator, school administrator that was with us there too, that they would get back to Hanover on the matter. The follow-up on that, to answer your question, was a phone call initiated once again by Hanover as to where we were. And at that time, I think the answer was, and I think, Joe, you might have spoken to the administrator there as well, but the answer to me on that phone call was they wanted the opportunity to run it through your legal counsel.
Correct.
And I fully agree with that. We did not hear back again. So what we did was made a further phone call and finally heard that you had no issues, that the school died. I can't answer for the board.
I'm going to, and listen, I'm on the liaison, I'm on the board, I'm aware of the situation. We did not in any way, shape, or form.
I can't speak to that.
Right, and we're not in any way, shape, or form have anything. So for you to make a statement regarding whether we have opposed or dissented something should not have happened. That's the point. If you wanted to go to vote, we can do that, and then you can make the statement of whatever the vote is. However, that is not the series of events.
I don't think any statement was made that you approved it. I think the
You said we did not oppose.
comment was made that there was no issues on the part of the school.
There were questions, and there was back and forth. So, that's not, that's also misleading. It's misleading.
I can't respond on part of your board. I'm not on your board.
Okay, and I'm on my board. I'm saying if you would like us if you'd like to speak for us, ask us to put a vote, and then you'll have something to speak to. That's all. Understood? Thank you.
Lisa Bomango, Board of Ed. I just wanted to say that what Mark said was true, and if there was something where we needed to vote, we would have voted. We were told that it was all township property, and it was going to happen with or without us. So,
I definitely disagree with you.
Okay.
Is your name Lisa?
Lisa.
Yeah. That did not come from yours truly. If you heard that, I don't know where you would have heard that.
Well, I did hear it
There
from
was
you.
no
We had a
reason
phone
for-
conversation.
why
You and
would
I
we
had a
con-
phone conversation where you did say
Why would we convene a
that.
meeting with you on
We
the
did.
level that we did if we could ignore you? We were not about to ignore you. We wanted your comments. We
I
solicited
understand,
your
but then it was made clear that you didn't need our comments. So that's fine, and once we were told that you didn't need our approval, and it didn't matter that it was going to go through anyway, we didn't vote because it was already going to happen.
I
So
have no control of
that's-
that.
Okay, thank you.
What the school board does as an independent agency and vote through you is what they do. We have no control. I called you back personally.
So is that an
I called you
easement?
back personally to ask your comments.
Right.
Because months had gone by without any input at all.
We had actually had our attorney talking to Fred.
That's correct.
So that was going through, and that was even from September. So we had still gone through up until a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, before the ordinance. So this has been ongoing. We've had questions. It's been ongoing. And if that path is an easement, then as a single board president, I don't have the ability to speak for the board. It would have to go on the agenda. If it's not an easement, that walking path, and you don't need to involve the board, then that's fine. But that's the comments.
Let me comment this way. How you administer or interface with your board is your concern, not mine. But having said that, both the mayor and I and our engineering department, et cetera, and officials from Public Works met at the site. We are not going to disturb the path at all. Not only are we not going to disturb the path at all, we're not going to disturb the woods north of the path, which are contiguous with the school. We're going to preserve them. Further, we're going to do some improvements in the lighting, as we said to you, even at our meetings, to make the path more secure. Having said all of that, that came from our original meeting.
Right, from when the path was being moved. We didn't even know that the path now is not being moved.
The only comment that we got, and if you want to say it's unofficial, official, et cetera, was that you had no issues, period. That's it.
Okay, well, there were issues that were from our attorney to yours.
We're into semantics.
Maybe you haven't seen them, I don't know.
I know the position you're in.
Okay, thank you.
I know that, God bless you, I know the position you're in. I'm very sorry for that, but it doesn't...
Understood.
The
Thank you.
township did its proper due diligence in all manner.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Fred, is there,
Let me just, the point here is, don't speak in affirmative or whatever for our board. If you'd like something to be done, we have our own, just like you do, we're beholden to our constituents as a board. So just to meet with us and say there are no issues, which we completely disagree with, you should not be making a statement where people in the township believe that we did make a decision. If you want one, we'll vote on it. That's what we're asking you. So the semantics that you're throwing out, frankly, are insulting. Please don't speak for our board. Thank you. That's all.
We don't speak for your board. We did not speak for your board. We convened the meeting to involve your board, and it was not our responsibility to bring it forward to your board. Okay, we had the proper members at our meeting who represented your board, and that issue of the property should have been brought to you through them.
okay. I just had a quick question for Fred.
No, go ahead, please.
No.
Well, I just want to add that with respect to the walking path, that's become more sort of in focus, and I'm working with Jerry, even as late as today, just for some clarity on that, and I think it's important that we all get on the same page. I don't think we should do it now, but I want to give the board a clear answer as to whether we have a request or there is going to be a change or not, and that's something that Jerry's been working on, and I would hope that we'll have an answer for the governing body and for the Board of Education in short order about that, just so that everybody's up to date on that.
Okay. And you had some conversations with their lawyer?
Yes. Their lawyer has asked me about it, Matt Giacobbe, and I think for the best way I could say it, Jerry's been looking at it, but perhaps with some of the changes to the project, I think Jerry's trying to figure out what exactly, now that it seems to be more in focus, to give a definitive answer to the board, because they have been asking about that path and what it meant, if there was going to be changes. And I think that's something that also would say, Jerry's here, but I think that's something in the next few days, Jerry's going to have more clarity. I don't think you have to get into it all now, but is that fair to say, Jerry, or?
Well, there might be some more different concept drawings that might be developed. But again, I want to reiterate, these are concepts. We don't have the footprint of the home from the arc yet, so the shape of the home might be a little different yet. So again, this was all concept drawings and concept discussions relating to how we're going to develop that portion of that property.
But I would suggest, Deputy Mayor, that perhaps we just have a short call with some of the Board of Ed officials, just so that we're all on the same page, because there was apparently...
I think the bigger issue is they feel that we spoke on behalf of them when they did not have a judgment on us. I think that's the crux of the issue.
Okay.
I don't know, again, won't speak for them whether they have an issue with it or not, but I think that's the problem, is that they felt that we were putting words in their mouth.
Well, we certainly meant no... We certainly didn't want to have any disrespect to our school board in the way we acted, and again, if we were even informed at the time that it would be our responsibility to go before this board with the concept, that's what would have happened.
Right. I think we've had a very long history of working shoulder to shoulder with the Board of Education. I hope that continues, most sincerely, and I believe that we will make it a point to be very careful about how we speak and never speak about the board on behalf of the board in situations such as this. I hope that satisfies you so that we can work closely, Board of Education in Hanover Township, as we have for years and years and years.
Thank you, Brian. Well said. Well said. Anyone else? Anyone else? Hearing none?
Motion closed?
Make a motion to close? Oh, I apologize.
Howie.
Mr. Olson.
How are you, sir? It's good to see the Township Committee. It's funny to be on this side instead of up there, though.
You're welcome.
I'm coming before you. In fact, this young lady back here, we're talking about speed bumps. For the past almost 2.5 years, I've talked to some of our committee people. I live on Griffith Drive, and that is a #1 cut-through street where I can sit on my property, which is absolutely wonderful because I'm retired. And I've talked about speed bumps. I only wish that the time that these cars come up and down the street doing 50, 55, because I can judge pretty good. I've been watching and checking these things out. And on Griffith Drive now, we have senior citizens that are still living there, and they have grandchildren. And we also have some new families in there that have just regular, I'll say regular children, but children that ride their bikes. And we definitely have a problem because one child, I was sitting on my property, and if this child didn't get hit, I don't know what saved him. The good Lord must have worked and held his hand because this car come flying up the hill. The speed bump, I've ridden around this town quite a bit, and I've seen a number of speed bumps, and they are, as far as I'm concerned, they all look great. And if there is a problem, our wonderful road department is right there, fixing it and making sure that it's well taken care of. Also, I know that we have our engineering department, and I know that if they were to work or take a look at Griffith Drive, just to survey it and see if it is or should be with speed bumps. I've spoken to a number of people on the street, and they would love to be able to see some of these cars slow down. I'm not asking for a mile-high speed bump, just a little bump where they can possibly slow down.
Speed humps, Howie.
The speed bumps.
Speed humps.
Speed humps.
They're the lesser ones. You don't lose your transmission, but you sure can slow down.
Okay. Whatever you want to call them, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
And I know people are really, really concerned on Griffith Drive because, like I say, and Mike, you're shaking your head, you know how they fly up that road.
Yep.
And I seriously would love to have this evaluated. way back when, we had a police officer sitting up at the dead end, and he couldn't see a car coming up that hill, even if he stood on his roof. So, again, I would just love to see it and possibly worked on. Let's put it this way, let's save the children. Thank you.
So, Howie, really just, and I wish Mrs. Benson was still here as well, but Mike had alluded to it earlier. We are probably a few months away from having a traffic division, if you will. Small traffic division, but basically a dedicated officers. Their only responsibility will be traffic safety in this town. They won't be taking calls. They'll be handling traffic and traffic actions. Of course, if there's an emergency, they'll be taking calls. But my point is, in the short term, that does two things. It allows us, when there are problem spots, to patrol, set up speed traps, or whatever it takes to enforce. But also, that gives that group the time to also do this, for example, the study you talked about. So if we need to do a study on Griffith Drive, we'll have the resources to do that, because we can't just put speed bumps in willy-nilly, if you will. I mean, there has to be some...
After 2.5 years?
After traffic data. So...
The traffic data doesn't do any good, Brian. No, not at all. The object of a police officer is to be in his car, doing safety, checking speed limits, and doing that. They're not supposed to be sitting there and watching speeders fly up and down and go over the speed
Yeah,
bumps.
that's not how it works, but, okay, okay, that's fine.
But that's the way it should work.
Right.
Our police need to be on the roads for safety.
And that's what we are striving for.
Thank you.
That's what I just described, was it,
Yeah.
folks that are going to be handling traffic and traffic safety on a regular basis.
Yeah, but when you have a police officer sitting in a car on a street that cars are flying on, they're not doing their job, as far as I'm concerned, because they're supposed to be out on Route 10, Route 287, whatever route is out there, and catch the speeders that are flying out there. Don't worry about Griffith Drive, as far as I'm concerned. If we can get the speed bumps in, Brian, love to see it happen.
Everything is possible, Howie. There's a process. That's all I'm saying. I'm on your side. I'm on your side.
Yeah, but 2.5 years though, Brian, and that's a little bit too long, knowing that we have the speeders.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Please state your
Good
name and
evening, I'm
address.
Kenneth Brunner, 120 Malapartis Road. I'm Deborah Brunner's better half. That's debatable. Ditto to what she said, because, you know, I live there with her, and I see someone over 30 miles an hour, I go, yo, you know, that's me. But, and I'm sure that will be looked at by the council, which I appreciate, I greatly appreciate. We've been in town for 15 years, from the day we moved in to this past winter. Every time we've had a situation with a town employee, it's been fantastic. They're courteous at City Hall here, DPW, and I even tell my friends, I say, you know, it's great to live in a town where the employees actually seem to care about the residents. I worked for the City of East Orange Water Commission for 48 years. I was a superintendent for 23, and I tried to enforce that in my workers' attitude, that we're here for the people of East Orange, the township. And it's good to see that has been, you know, that Hanover Township has that. And I want to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Anyone else? Going once? Hearing none, seeing none. Can I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Are we going to have, anybody have any quick notes for tonight, or it's an off night for notes? The only thing I'd like to throw out, Saturday is opening day, so don't forget, put it on your calendars, 9:30. Opening day for Little League this weekend. All right. Take a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to adjourn, I apologize. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. We'll get it down.
How's the weather? You're horrible.
Get it down.
You're horrible.
Hey, don't sugarcoat it. You did.
You're horrible. I didn't know. I was facing that way. We both face that way. I didn't know.